The Adventures of Man Sponge and Boy Patrick and What Were You Shrinking? Chapter 11. Fish Jar. Inside the jar, Squidward was pressed up against so many people. SpongeBob, will you just face the facts? He snarled. You've got to go to Mermaid Man. Oh, Squidward, SpongeBob said, starting to sniffle. He'll be so disappointed. From inside the jar, Sandy snapped. Well, you can't leave us small forever. SpongeBob fell to his knees and sobbed. You don't understand, he wailed. But then a comforting voice said, SpongeBob, you need to admit your mistake. SpongeBob looked closely at the jar to see who had spoken. Mom? He asked as he wiped tears away from his eyes. Then another voice spoke from inside the jar. Your mother's right, son. Mermaid Man will understand. Barnacle Boy turned to the speaker. You're Mermaid Man, you old coot. Oh yeah, Mermaid Man said. He'd been shrunk and placed in the jar too. SpongeBob turned the jar until he found his favorite superhero. Mermaid Man, he said. I'm so sorry. It's just that I'm such a big fan and you're pelted. Aw, don't worry, son, Mermaid Man said reassuringly. I understand. Why, I remember back when I first used the belt. The year was 1112. I believe the president then was... Just tell him how to unshrink us! Everyone else in the jar shouted. Oh, yes, the unshrink ray, Mermaid Man said, thinking hard. Let's see, did you set it to Wumbo? The jar full of angry citizens couldn't believe their ears. What? They roared. SpongeBob was holding the packed jar in his hands. It started to vibrate and shake violently. He could barely hold on to it. Then, whoosh! It was too packed to hold everyone, and all of the shrunken people of Bikini Bottom came shooting out of the jar like a geyser. They flew up into the air and landed on the ground near SpongeBob. Whoa! The mob of tiny sea dwellers formed themselves into words that made up a sentence. SpongeBob read the sentence out loud. Get SpongeBob? Get SpongeBob! Stay tuned for Chapter 12, coming up soon.